Welcome to our deep dive. We're tackling The Power of Less today by Babauta.
Excellent choice.
And I think this will be super valuable for any new entrepreneur out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Figuring out how to simplify everything, focus your energy, and get more done with less stress.
Right. It's so
There-
important.
We're going to break it all down step by step so you can really get a handle on these concepts.
Awesome.
I know when you're first starting out, it's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's so much to do, so much info coming at you.
Totally.
And you're probably wearing all the hats in your business.
Uh-huh.
It's like that classic drinking from a fire hose feeling.
I know exactly what you mean.
But Babauta has this really important idea that I think will help shift your perspective.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Doing more doesn't actually equal better results.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
In fact, spreading yourself too thin
Mm-hmm.
can actually lead to less impact
I see that.
because you're not able to give your full attention to anything.
Right. You're not really focusing on anything.
He has this great story about two reporters.
Okay.
One reporter churns out like 30 articles a week,
Wow.
but ultimately has limited impact.
Okay.
The other reporter focuses on just one powerful story
Mm.
and ends up winning awards and advancing his career.
Wow. So it's quality over quantity.
Exactly. It's not about being busy, but about being strategic.
Right. You got to make each thing count.
Especially as a new entrepreneur,
Vote, definitely.
you need to figure out what to focus on
For sure.
and how to make the most of your limited time and energy.
Totally.
Babauta uses this really cool metaphor,
Oh, I like metaphors.
the haiku.
Okay. I haiku.
For those who haven't encountered them, it's a really short poem with only 17 syllables,
Yeah.
which forces the poet to choose their words super carefully
Right.
and focus only on what's essential to convey their message.
I love that.
It highlights the power of limitations.
Mm.
When we set limits, we're forced to make choices about what's truly important.
I see that.
And that leads us to the first two principles from the book. Okay, bring them on.
Principle 1.
Uh-huh.
By setting limitations, we must choose the essential.
Okay.
And principle 2.
Yes,
By choosing the essential, we create great impact with minimal resources.
I like that.
But how do I actually figure out what's essential for my business?
Right.
Everyone's business is different.
Ah,
What's essential for one person might not be essential for another.
that's true.
So we need some practical strategies.
Yeah, let's get practical.
One method is to just look at your task list with a critical eye
Okay, look at that to-do list.
and ask yourself 3 key questions.
Okay, fire away.
First, which tasks will have the biggest positive impact? Like, if you could only do 3 things today,
Oh,
which ones would actually move your business forward the most?
okay, good question.
Which tasks, if you don't do them, would have negative consequences?
Oh, right. Those are important.
These are the things that absolutely need to get done to avoid problems or setbacks.
And finally, which tasks can be eliminated or delegated without much impact?
Ah,
These are the time wasters.
I know this well.
Things that might feel important, but they don't actually contribute much to your overall goals.
Right, they just kind of fill up the day.
Another method is to start with your long-term goals.
Okay, long term.
Where do you want your business to be a year from now?
Mm.
And work backward, aligning your daily tasks with those yearly goals.
Ah, so it all connects.
It helps ensure that you're always moving in the right direction.
I like that.
Even when you're caught up in all those day-to-day tasks,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to remember
Yeah,
the power of less isn't just about your to-do list.
I see that.
It's a mindset.
Okay.
You can apply it to all areas of your life as a new entrepreneur.
So it's like a way of life.
Yeah, like if you're feeling overwhelmed by email,
Oh, gosh, yeah.
you could limit checking to just twice a day
Ooh, that'd be nice.
and set a limit for how many you'll respond to.
That's a good idea.
Or if you have too many projects going on at once,
Okay.
you can narrow it down to the top 3
Okay, just 3.
that are most important for your business right now.
Stay really focusing.
Or if you're feeling cluttered and distracted
I know that feeling.
by your workspace,
Yeah.
you could apply some of those decluttering principles
Yeah, clear out the clutter.
to create a calmer, more focused environment.
Right, create some space.
It's about setting limitations
Uh-huh.
to create space,
I like that.
both physically and mentally,
Yeah, both.
to focus on what truly
It's
matters.
so important.
Now, simplifying isn't a one-time purge.
Hmm.
It's something you need to do regularly,
Okay,
kind of like weeding a garden.
I like that analogy.
This brings us to principle 3,
Oh, nice. Another one.
simplifying, eliminating the non-essential.
That's key.
This can be especially challenging when it comes to saying no
Oh, yeah, saying no is tough.
to requests or opportunities that come your way.
Especially as a new entrepreneur, you want to be helpful and
Right.
build relationships.
But sometimes saying yes to everything can backfire.
It can.
It can lead to overwhelm and burnout.
Oh, for sure.
So learning to say no is really important.
Uh-huh.
It's about respecting your time and energy
Yes,
so you can focus on the things that are truly important for your business.
that's a good one.
Focus.
Yes.
That's a word we hear a lot in the entrepreneurial world.
We do.
But what does it really mean to be focused?
Mm.
Especially when you're starting a business and there are so many things demanding your attention.
It's hard to know where to look.
Think of focus like a laser beam.
Okay.
When you focus your attention on one thing at a time,
Uh-huh.
you amplify your efforts.
You do.
And get much better results than if you're scattered and trying to do too many things at once.
Right. It's like that laser focus.
So how can a new entrepreneur harness the power of focus?
That's the question.
One key strategy is to focus on one goal at a time.
Okay.
One goal. So instead of trying to juggle multiple priorities,
Yeah.
choose the one thing that will have the biggest impact on your business right now
Okay, pick that one.
and pour all your energy into that.
Okay. All the energy.
Okay, so that's at the macro level.
Uh-huh.
But what about the day-to-day work?
Great. The daily grind.
How do we stay focused when there are so many distractions?
So many distractions.
That's where single tasking comes in.
Okay. Single tasking.
It's about resisting the urge to multitask.
Multitasking is so tempting.
And instead focusing on completing one task at a time
Okay, one task.
before moving on to the next.
Got it.
I know that can be really hard,
It is.
especially in today's fast-paced world
Oh, yeah.
where we're constantly bombarded with information and notifications.
It never ends.
But it's worth it
Okay, tell me why.
because every time you switch tasks, there's a mental overhead, cost to your time and focus.
Interesting.
It's like switching gears in a car.
Okay.
It takes time to get back up to speed.
Oh.
Single tasking allows you to go deeper, to concentrate fully on the task at hand,
Okay. Deep concentration.
and ultimately to produce better quality work.
That makes sense.
Okay, so how do we actually implement single tasking?
Yeah, give us the steps.
First thing in the morning, tackle your most important task.
Okay, got it.
Devote your full attention to it before moving on to anything else.
So no distractions.
Exactly. No email, no social media, no checking your phone.
Oh, that's hard.
It's about creating a bubble of focus
Okay, a bubble.
where you can really get into the flow of work.
I like that.
And then resist the urge to check email or switch to another task.
Right.
If something pops into your head,
Uh-huh.
jot it down for later and refocus on what you're currently working on.
Got it.
That takes a lot of discipline,
It does.
especially at first.
But like any muscle, your focus gets stronger with practice.
Right, practice makes perfect.
And as you experience those benefits of single tasking, increased productivity, reduced stress, better quality work,
Yeah, it all comes together.
it becomes easier to stay committed to the process.
So we're setting those boundaries and watching our productivity soar.
Awesome.
But what about all those other tasks that come up throughout the day?
Right, life is full of them.
How do we handle those without getting sidetracked?
That's a good question.
That's where batch processing comes in.
Okay, batch processing.
So instead of constantly switching between tasks,
Oh, yeah.
checking email, making phone calls, jumping back to a project,
Uh-huh.
you dedicate specific blocks of time to each type of activity.
Okay, blocks of time.
So you might have a block in the morning for focused work,
Got it.
another block for communication, and then another block for administrative tasks.
So it's all organized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This reduces the mental overhead of constantly switching gears,
Yeah, less switching.
making you more efficient and less stressed.
That's the goal.
I think we're starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Mm-hmm.
Limitations, focus, single tasking, batch processing.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's a whole system for simplifying and maximizing your impact as a new entrepreneur.
I love systems.
And to make it all stick, we need to talk about the power of habits.
Ooh.
Habits. Consistency is key to achieving long-term success.
It is.
And habits are the secret weapon for making those positive changes last.
So how do we build those habits?
Babauta suggests focusing on building one habit at a time
Okay, one at a time.
to avoid overwhelm.
Yeah, don't want to do too much.
It's like building a strong foundation brick by brick.
I like that visual.
He breaks down the process of building a new habit into 4 simple steps.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, choose an easy, measurable goal.
Okay, easy and measurable.
You want to set yourself up for success, so don't try to do too much too soon.
Right, baby steps.
Then be consistent with timing, doing the habit at the same time each day.
Okay, same time each day.
This helps make it automatic.
Like, it's just part of the routine.
Something you don't even have to think about.
Perfect.
Next, report your progress daily for accountability.
Okay, accountability.
This could be as simple as putting a check mark on a calendar
Yeah, like,
or sharing your progress with a friend.
so someone's checking in on you.
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
And finally, maintain a positive attitude, even when you experience setbacks.
Right, because those will happen.
Setbacks are inevitable.
They are.
The key is to view them as learning opportunities, not failures.
Okay, so reframe those setbacks.
So stay positive,
Yes,
be patient with yourself, and keep moving forward.
I love that.
Now, Babauta outlines 12 key habits for entrepreneurs,
12, okay.
almost like a year-long plan with one habit to focus on each month.
A whole year of habits.
Let's highlight a few that are particularly relevant for someone starting a business.
Okay, let's do it.
First, setting your 3 most important tasks each morning.
Ah.
MITs. We've already touched on this.
Yes.
But it's worth emphasizing again because it's such a powerful way to start your day with intention.
Right. Set the intention.
It's about choosing those 3 tasks.
Oh.
That will have the biggest impact on moving your business forward.
Move it forward.
And then, of course, we have single tasking,
Yeah, that's a big one.
which is essential for maximizing focus and efficiency.
Get more done.
And finally, decluttering your workspace.
Oh, decluttering.
This isn't just about creating a physically tidy environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about creating a mental space that's free from distractions
Okay, mental space.
and conducive to focus.
So important.
Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that's absolutely essential for any new entrepreneur, protecting your time.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably feeling pulled in a million directions,
So many directions.
and it's easy to let your schedule get hijacked
Totally.
away by other people's priorities.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the concept of a short list comes in.
Okay. Short list, tell me more.
Tell us more about this short list.
Yes.
What is it and how can it help?
Break it down.
It's about identifying the 4 or 5 most important things in your life right now,
Okay, just 4 or 5.
both personally and professionally.
Okay, both.
These are the things that are non-negotiable,
Oh!
the things that you absolutely will not compromise on.
So it's about setting boundaries.
Exactly. It helps you align your actions with what truly matters,
I see that.
ensuring that you're not spreading yourself too thin
Avoid the thin spreading.
or saying yes to things that don't serve your bigger purpose.
Right. You got to stay on track.
It's like having a filter for your commitments,
Ah, a filter.
so you can make conscious choices about where to invest that precious time and energy.
Time and energy are so valuable.
And that leads us to another essential skill,
Okay.
saying no with grace and confidence.
Oh, the dreaded no.
I know that can be so hard, especially when you're starting out
Uh-huh.
and you're eager to build relationships.
You want to be nice.
Do you have any tips from Babauta on how to say no politely but firmly?
I need those.
He emphasizes honesty and firmness.
Okay.
Be upfront about your limitations.
Uh-huh.
And don't leave room for negotiation. Exactly. Be clear and direct.
Okay, clear and direct.
While still being respectful and kind.
Right, still be nice about it.
And remember, saying no is a muscle that gets stronger with practice.
No, good to know.
It's about setting those boundaries.
Yes, boundaries.
And letting people know that you value your time and your priorities.
So important. Welcome back to our deep dive into the power of less.
It's great to be back. We laid some serious groundwork in that first part.
Definitely. We talked about simplifying, right?
Yeah,
Focusing our energy and setting those all-important limitations.
absolutely. Now I'm ready to get into some specifics.
Perfect. Let's look at some systems from the book, ones you can actually put into practice.
Love it.
We'll start with the one goal system.
Okay, the name itself is intriguing.
It's about directing your energy towards one major goal at a time.
As a new entrepreneur, that's kind of hard to swallow.
Right. You probably have a million things you want to achieve.
Seriously, a million is an understatement.
That's why the system's so powerful. It helps you choose. Choose.
Prioritize and carve a clear path forward instead of, doing everything at once.
Oh, the scattering of efforts.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You end up making slower progress that way. This way, you pick one goal to focus on right now.
Like picking the star of the show.
Perfect analogy. And every good show needs a script, right? So you got to break that big goal down.
The smaller pieces.
Smaller, manageable sub-goals.
So let's say my one goal is launching a new product, right? 6 months, that's my deadline.
Okay, great example.
I break that down. Market research, product development, marketing plan, those kinds of things.
See, that makes the whole thing less scary.
No, way less scary. It's like a map instead of just wandering in the wilderness.
And to make sure you actually stick to it, schedule time every day to work on it.
Every day, even if it's just a little bit.
Even a little bit. Consistency is key.
Key to everything, it seems.
And celebrate each win along the way. Hit a sub-goal. Time to pat yourself on the back.
It's so easy to forget that part.
Celebrating keeps you going. Now, that's for the big picture. Right, the overall vision.
But then you got those day-to-day projects popping up all the time.
Ugh, tell me about it. My to-do list is never ending.
That's where Babauta's simple projects list is a lifesaver.
Simple. I like the sound of that already.
First, you got to be brutally honest.
About?
Your workload, every single project, write it down. Business, personal life, everything.
Okay, full transparency, lay it all out.
Then, you choose. Just the top 3 projects that matter most right now.
3? I have at least 10 vying for my attention.
I know, right? But trust me, limiting it to 3 is where the magic happens.
Okay, I'm willing to be magical.
It frees up so much mental energy. You can make real progress on those top priorities.
What about all the other stuff? I can't just ignore them, can I?
You put them on a separate list. Call it your on-deck list.
Like baseball.
Exactly. They're not forgotten, just waiting their turn.
Until I have the bandwidth. I like that system. Now I've got my 3 main projects. How do I tackle those effectively?
You break them down into manageable tasks, like building a house, one step at a time.
So instead of trying to do the whole project at once,
You get it.
it's about defining what done looks like, right?
Yes. If you're building a website, what's the end result? How will you know it's done?
For me, it'd be sites working, 5 pages of content, contact form, links to social media, that kind of thing.
Boom, there's your picture of success. Now list the tasks to get there.
Domain name, website template, content writing, images, contact form setup.
Now prioritize those tasks. Which ones move the project forward the most?
Oh, right, those MITs we talked about, most important tasks.
You nailed it. And throughout the process, check in with yourself. Babauta suggests a weekly review.
A progress report, basically.
Yeah. Are you on track? Roadblocks? Need to adjust anything.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not set in stone. We adapt as we go.
Now, one thing that can be a real beast for entrepreneurs, especially new ones, time management.
Oh my gosh, yes. I feel like I'm constantly playing catch up.
Well, Babauta's got this surprisingly simple approach.
Lay it on me. I need all the time-saving tips I can get.
He says, ditch the appointments.
What? No appointments at all? How's that possible?
It's not about ditching your calendar entirely.
Okay, good. Because I rely on that thing.
But see it as a guide, not a dictator.
More flexible.
Exactly. You can jot down meetings, events, but you're not chained to them.
So if someone wants a meeting at 2 p.m., I can tell them my schedule's flexible and to check in closer to the time.
Exactly. It puts you back in control.
Less pressure to stick to a rigid schedule. But then how do I decide what to actually work on at any given moment?
That's where those MITs come in again. Remember, you pick 3 each morning.
Right. Those are my priority tasks for the day.
So block out a couple of hours to focus solely on them.
No distractions allowed.
You got it.
Okay, that makes sense. What about all the smaller, less important tasks?
Batch those bad boys.
Right. So dedicate certain blocks of time to emails, phone calls, admin stuff.
You're getting it. It's all about being intentional, not just reacting to whatever pops up.
And I love that this doesn't require some fancy app or software.
Nope. A simple calendar. Paper or online, whichever works for you.
And for my to-do list and projects, what does the Power of Less guru recommend?
A pocket notebook or a text file on your computer.
Keeping it simple.
The simpler, the better.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the inbox monster.
Oh yeah, email. The bane of many an entrepreneur's existence.
It's a struggle keeping up with it all.
Well, Babauta's got some great strategies.
Give me all the wisdom. I'm ready to conquer my inbox.
Remember how we talked about setting limits on everything?
Tasks, projects, commitments, the whole 9 yards.
Applies to email, too.
So no more obsessively checking my inbox? I can handle that? Maybe.
Start by deciding how many times a day you'll check email.
What's a reasonable number?
Twice a day works well for most people. Mid-morning and late afternoon.
That's doable. But what about those pesky notifications? They're like a siren song.
Turn them off. They're just distractions, creating a false sense of urgency.
I'm so guilty of letting them control me.
It's all about reclaiming control. You decide when you engage, not the notification.
Now, I've got this backlog of emails. I need a system for tackling that beast.
Process to empty is your new best friend. Make a quick decision about each email and get it out of your inbox.
Okay, walk me through this. I'm ready for inbox 0.
Start with a clean slate, big backlog. Create a temporary folder and deal with those later.
That already feels less daunting.
Next, you got to have a separate to-do system. Could be a notebook, an app, whatever works for you.
So if an email requires action, I add that to my to-do list and the email is out of there.
Exactly. Now, work through your inbox from the top. Each email gets one of 5 actions.
Hit me with those actions.
Delete, archive, reply quickly, add to your to-do list, or forward.
So the end goal is to have a clean inbox with only messages needing immediate action.
Bingo.
Okay, that's the system I can get behind. What about when I'm writing emails? Any tips for keeping those short and sweet?
Babauta is a big fan of the 5-sentence rule.
Wait, 5 sentences max? Seriously?
It forces you to be clear and concise, no more rambling.
I could see that saving a lot of time for me and the person reading it.
Exactly, and it minimizes misunderstandings.
Okay, I'm going to try that. 5 sentences. Challenge accepted.
Now, email is just one part of the digital distraction equation.
Oh, yeah. The internet itself can be a black hole.
Especially for entrepreneurs, it's easy to get sucked in.
Social media, news, online shopping, so many rabbit holes.
First step, awareness. Babauta suggests tracking your internet usage. See where your time's actually going.
There's probably an app for that, right?
Tons of apps and browser extensions.
I think that would be a terrifying yet necessary exercise.
Once you see it, then you can create an internet plan.
A plan for my online time.
Yep. Which sites are essential for work? Which are for fun? When will you use each?
Boundaries again.
They're everywhere for a reason. And this one's a biggie, especially for entrepreneurs. Learning to work while disconnected.
That sounds terrifying and amazing all at the same time.
It can be a game changer. No emails, no notifications, just you and your work.
The dream.
It might feel extreme, but when you eliminate those distractions, your focus and flow are incredible.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But how do I actually break free from the internet's grasp? It feels like an addiction sometimes.
Start with a digital detox. At least a week. Tell people about it.
Public accountability.
Exactly. Once you experience the benefits, it's easier to incorporate it regularly.
So I could have specific offline times.
Perfect. Even just 30 minutes at a time to start.
Okay, I'm putting that on my to-do list. To not do, I guess.
Now let's talk about something that stresses a lot of people out.
Oh no, what is it? Filing. Ugh, yeah. I've got stacks of papers haunting me.
Doesn't have to be that way. Remember, power of less simplifies everything.
So what's the magic solution?
Reduce before you organize.
Decluttering comes first.
Gather all your papers, everything.
Oh man, that's gonna be a mountain.
Work through it one item at a time.
Okay, and what are my options here?
Trash, delegate, or file.
When in doubt, toss it out.
Usually the best move.
So for the keepers, how do I organize them without going overboard?
Simple alphabetical system, clearly labeled folders, no need to get fancy.
Straightforward. I like it. Any tips to prevent those paper piles from coming back?
File immediately. Don't let things pile up.
Got it.
Then, schedule a weekly or monthly purge. Get rid of anything you don't need anymore.
Filing system detox. Makes sense.
And most importantly, minimize incoming paper. Go digital whenever you can.
Paperless billing, unsubscribe from junk mail, all that good stuff.
You got it. A little organization goes a long way. Now let's talk about a concept that might seem counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive. I'm intrigued.
Slowing down.
As a new entrepreneur, isn't the name of the game hustle and grind?
We live in a fast-paced world, always on the go. But slowing down can actually boost your productivity.
Okay, I'm listening. Explain this to me.
When we slow down, we make space for clarity.
Clarity, okay.
Creativity and connection. Those are vital for success.
I'm seeing the bigger picture. So it's not about being lazy, it's being more intentional.
Exactly. Moving through life at a deliberate pace, not just constantly reacting.
And this all starts with what?
Your attention.
My attention. What does that have to do with slowing down?
Our attention's pulled in a million directions. Phones, computers, info overload. It's exhausting.
It really is. It's like my brain never gets a break.
Babauta talks about cultivating slow attention, moving your focus deliberately, resisting the urge to jump around.
So being more mindful of where my focus is going, choosing one thing at a time.
You got it.
I can apply that to so many things. Like enjoying a meal without checking my phone.
Perfect example.
Or just taking a few deep breaths before moving to the next task.
It doesn't take much time, just a little awareness. Now, you might be wondering how this helps you be more productive.
I was just going to ask that. It sounds great for stress reduction, but what about actual work?
When we slow down, we're more thoughtful, deliberate.
And that leads to better work, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. We avoid mistakes, we catch details, the quality goes way up.
That makes sense. I know when I'm rushed, my work suffers.
So how can you put this into practice?
Give me those actionable tips.
First, find work you actually love.
That's a good one.
When you're passionate, it's easier to focus, to slow down, and get into that flow state.
Definitely. If I'm forcing myself to do something I hate, forget slowing down.
Next tip, create a distraction-free environment.
Phone off, email closed, maybe some calming music.
You got it. A sanctuary for deep work.
I'll admit that's going to take some effort.
Start small. Even 30 minutes of focused, uninterrupted work at a time.
I can do that. Small steps.
Now, we've talked about applying the power of less to work.
Right. Getting more done, feeling less stressed.
But it goes beyond that. Babauta applies it to eating, driving, fitness.
Okay, now I'm really interested. I need to simplify all those areas.
Let's start with eating.
I often eat lunch at my desk, multitasking like crazy.
We've all been there. Babauta encourages slow eating.
I'm picturing a snail with a tiny fork.
It's about savoring each bite, chewing thoroughly.
Paying attention to the food, not the screen.
You get it.
I do feel more satisfied when I actually focus on the food.
It also helps with digestion and prevents overeating. Simple changes, big impact.
Okay, what about driving? My commute is a nightmare.
Driving is often done on autopilot.
True.
But try shifting your mindset.
From stressing about traffic to what?
To being mindful, present, enjoy the journey.
Okay, that sounds like a challenge, but maybe a worthwhile one. Any practical tips for slowing down behind the wheel?
Relaxing music, ignoring aggressive drivers, leaving a little early, using the time for brainstorming even.
So I can turn wasted time into productive time.
Exactly.
Now let's talk fitness.
Fitness should be enjoyable, not a chore.
I agree with that, but I often fall into the all-or-nothing trap.
I know, it's easy to do. That's why Babauta suggests starting small.
So no intense boot camps or crazy diets right off the bat.
Nope. Those aren't sustainable. Start with a simple exercise habit.
Like what?
Just 5-10 minutes of cardio a day. Increase it gradually.
That's actually doable.
Make it consistent.
And for diet.
Gradual changes. Moderation, not deprivation.
So I can keep eating pizza.
Pizza in moderation. Focus on adding more good stuff, like fruits and veggies.
Okay, I can handle that. And that slow eating thing applies here too, right?
Absolutely. Listen to your hunger cues, eat when you're lightly hungry, and enjoy each bite.
This makes so much more sense than the restrictive approaches I've tried before.
It's all about finding a sustainable balance.
Now, even with all these great strategies, staying motivated can be tough.
Motivation's a tricky thing. It comes and goes.
So it's normal to have days when I feel like I'm dragging.
Absolutely. But there are ways to ride those waves.
Give me all your motivation hacks.
First, remember to start small. Break down goals into smaller chunks and celebrate your wins.
I need to get better at celebrating those small wins.
They made a huge difference.
What about those days when motivation is nowhere to be found?
Pace yourself. Don't burn out too early. Focus on the benefits of achieving your goals.
So shift my focus from the struggle to the reward.
Got it. And a supportive community, people working towards similar goals.
There's power in community, that's for sure. And finally,
reward yourself.
Yes, make the journey enjoyable.
Exactly. This deep dive's given you a ton of tools for a simpler, more fulfilling life. Now, let's move on to...
Okay, so we've explored simplifying our work, our time, even our internet usage.
Streamlining everything for maximum impact.
Exactly. But there's one more area that can really bog us down, especially as new entrepreneurs.
Let me guess. Commitments.
You nailed it. It's so easy to overcommit, to say yes to everything.
Especially when you're starting out, you want to be helpful, build those relationships.
Totally. But I'm starting to see how saying yes all the time can backfire.
Oh, big time. It can lead to burnout, resentment, feeling totally overwhelmed.
So how do we even begin to simplify our commitments? I'm already feeling a little stressed just thinking about it.
First step is always awareness. Babauta suggests writing down every single commitment you have.
Every single one. Work, family, social, volunteer, everything.
Everything. Don't sugarcoat it. This gives you a clear picture of where your time and energy is actually going.
Okay, deep breath. Time for some honest reflection.
Once you've got that list, it's time to create your short list.
Short list. Okay, I'm intrigued. What's that all about?
This is where you identify the 4 or 5 most important things in your life.
Right now, not like overall life goals, right?
Right now, both personal and professional. Your non-negotiables.
The things that truly align with my values, my goals.
Exactly. Think of it as your personal mission statement.
Okay, I'm starting to see the power of this. How does it help me with all those other commitments I've got?
Everything gets evaluated against your shortlist.
So if a commitment doesn't support those top priorities...
It's time to let it go.
Whoa, that's a powerful shift in thinking.
It also makes saying no a whole lot easier.
Which is something I need to get better at, for sure.
Yeah.
But how do I say no without feeling guilty or hurting someone's feelings?
Honesty and directness are key, but always with respect and kindness. Just explain your limitations and your desire to focus on your top priorities.
So no beating around the bush, just be clear and upfront.
Exactly. The more you practice, the easier it gets. And the more you respect your own boundaries, the more others will too.
I'm feeling a sense of liberation just thinking about this.
And remember, this applies to your personal life too.
Oh, totally. I've overcommitted myself to social events, volunteer work, family stuff.
Yeah.
It's a constant juggling act.
It happens to all of us. But the same principle applies. What brings you the most joy in your personal life? Prioritize those things.
So it might mean saying no to some social events, delegating tasks, or having an honest conversation with family about needing more time for myself.
It's about creating a life that feels balanced and aligned with what truly matters to you.
I love how Babauta walks the walk too, making time for his family, training for a marathon, writing his book, all while running a business.
It's proof that it's possible to have it all, just not all at once.
This deep dive has been a game changer. I feel equipped to simplify my work, my life, even my approach to fitness. But what about those days when motivation just disappears? How do I keep myself going?
Motivation comes and goes for all of us. The key is learning to ride those waves.
Okay, so how do I ride those waves of motivation?
Remember the power of starting small.
Right, break down those big goals into manageable steps.
Exactly. And celebrate those small wins along the way. They make a huge difference. It also helps to find inspiration from others.
Like reading stories about successful entrepreneurs.
Exactly. Or connecting with a supportive community who are working towards similar goals.
There's power in shared experience. And probably the most important thing,
making sure your goal is something you truly desire, something that excites you.
I think sometimes we get caught up in what we think we should be doing instead of what truly lights us up.
It happens. But when you're passionate about something, motivation comes more naturally. And when you do hit those inevitable bumps in the road,
which I know I will,
pace yourself. Don't burn yourself out too early.
Right. The marathon analogy.
Focus on the benefits, not the difficulty. Remind yourself why you're doing this.
Love that. It's all about perspective.
And don't forget to reward yourself.
Yes. Make the journey enjoyable.
This deep dive has given you a roadmap to create a simpler, more fulfilling life, both personally and professionally. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
It's been amazing.
Remember, the power of less is all about making space for the things that truly matter, the things that bring joy, meaning, and fulfillment.
To all you new entrepreneurs out there, as you embark on this exciting journey, remember to embrace simplicity, cultivate focus, and prioritize what truly matters. Your business and your life will be all the richer for it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.